El nacimiento de Mariangel fue un parto bastante traumático, por decirlo así. Todo el problema que se presentó durante las 38 semanas, porque ella nació a las 38 semanas, pasó toda tarde y noche con las contracciones, pero no dilato. Ya al día siguiente, que es que proceden a hacerme un monitoreo fetal, empieza a hacerle una serie de estudios y el neurólogo me dice, no, o sea, la niña lo que tiene es una parálisis cerebral.
Mariangel has a diagnosis of spastic quadriplegic cerebral palsy. And cerebral palsy is actually a spectrum. You can have a very mild case, so it can walk. It has really not necessarily any relation to their cognition. And you can have involvement of different limbs. You can have the upper extremity limbs involved, just the lower extremity, only one side of the body. So there's different ways that we can classify cerebral palsy. And what happens and why this happens is that there is a problem in the brain, something that happened either intrautero or during birth that affects the brain. That is a static problem that's called a static encephalopathy, but that affected a portion of the brain that controls your muscle and your posture, and that's why that's the palsy part. So it's a cerebral palsy. The palsy becomes a problem of what is happening with their muscles and the control and the voluntary control of their muscles.
Finales de noviembre escucho en el pueblo, no, viene una brigada de salud de la Fundación Juan José Pallares. Yo soy auxiliar de enfermería y allá cada vez que la fundación va a las auxiliares nos piden que colaboremos. Yo dije, bueno, me anotan ahí, me dice una compañera, oye, ¿tú sabías que viene un ortopeda para acá? Dijo, no. Me dijo, sí, viene un ortopeda. Me dije, ¿verdad? Busqué al encargado y le dije, niño, viene un ortopeda, quiero que me pongas con el ortopeda para así llevarle a la niña y escuchar otra versión médica. Me dan la cita con el ortopeda para el 23 de enero del 2020. Bueno, se metió toda la cuestión de la pandemia, aguanté un poco porque me daba miedo llevarla. Llega un muchacho del pueblo, llega a mi casa a decirme que te van a llamar de Estados Unidos. O sea, recibo la llamada, una felicidad total.
So I've been doing some major work since I was in medical school through a family created foundation, Fundación Juan José Pallares Bustos. It's in honor of my father. And in 2019, we wanted to have another bigger medical mission, specifically more for pediatrics. I met Mariangel and I had that initial evaluation. I saw that she had a significant crouch gait, which is, when the knees are very bent and she doesn't have enough strength and the tendons are too tight for her to even have a proper posture. Surgical intervention was going to be needed at some point. At that moment, I was planning to go back in June. And this is December of 2019. March, COVID-19 happens. I was speaking to some members of our board, and it came up that we need to get her visas and her passports, and it was all of a sudden, right? So we got the approval, and within a matter of weeks, she was here, and I was like, doesn't matter, I'll do her surgery. I wanted a special day. We were able to accommodate just a day where I was only operating on her. That's all I was doing because I wanted that attention, I wanted that moment. And I wanted everybody to understand that while we do this multiple times a week, right? We see so many patients, and I wanted every member of our team to understand how their involvement was going to change this little girl's life.
De ahí en adelante todo el proceso ha sido rápido para la recuperación de ella y he quedado sorprendida porque ella, o sea, a pesar de que no tiene un mes de que la operaron, Mariangel tiene muchos movimientos que ella no tenía.
I'm actually a very strong advocate for cerebral palsy awareness because there's a lot of things that we can do. People think that because they have cerebral palsy, it's the end, we don't have to do anything, they're just going to be in a wheelchair, and I think it's been very difficult to educate that we can actually do something. There are surgeries that we can do to help them improve their mobility. What I want is while I cannot cure cerebral palsy, we can make their lives more comfortable. We can improve and give them the gift of mobility. We can give them more independence.
También quiero extender mis agradecimientos a la Shade Foundation y a la Fundación Cherry for Kids y a la Fundación Nicholas Children por todo el apoyo que le han brindado en todo este proceso de tratamiento a Mariangel.
Le doy gracias a Dios porque has escuchado mis súplicas y sinceramente por haberme puesto a mí en el camino de la fundación. No a ellos en mi vida, sino a mí en el camino de ellos.
¿Tu mayor deseo toda la vida cuál ha sido?
Mi deseo es caminar.